Can you talk to us about the influence that the CCP is having on the world currently versus its influence before? Has it increased or decreased?
Communist Party's influence is unfortunately massively increasing over time, whether it's 20 years, whether it's 5 years, but let's just talk about 5 years. Think about the fact that they unleashed upon all of us, the entire world, a global pandemic. They lied through their teeth every step of the way of that pandemic. They lied everything about that pandemic. Of course, they caused the pandemic through their carelessness at best. Even though that happened, the rest of the world has actually become more dependent upon supply chains from the Chinese Communist Party, whether it's rare earth, solar, all these other things. And so their influence is spreading, and they are using that coercion against other countries. And that's why it's so important that the United States lead a breakaway to create supply chains of freedom, supply chains that are controlled by democracies, free countries, and their allies and their partners who they can trust. That's the problem here is they have provoked the world in an unforgettable way through the COVID pandemic and all of their malfeasance through that. Yet the rest of the world has failed to respond, and candidly, President failed to respond in any significant way to get us off dependence on the Chinese Communist Party. That's why President Trump is quite different. He recognizes that, really it's an existential danger. And he's saying we need supply chains that they cannot intercept and control. One last thing on that. I mean, the actual supply chains that we needed to protect ourselves during the pandemic that they caused, they cut those supply chains off. They commandeered American factories in China that would serve us products that we need. And they went all around the United States, hoovering up the personal protective equipment, the medical equipment that we needed in the United States. They had their companies hoover that up across the United States, send it back to China, and then they took over our factories in China. So they cut us off from the supplies we needed to survive the pandemic that they caused.